Yes, they are. You'll see.
Yeah. I'm just turning up.
We're going to get started in just a few minutes, but just a reminder that everyone wants to silence their cell phones. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, okay.
That wasn't over there.
Hi, guys. Good evening. Welcome to Grand Blanc Township Board meeting for Tuesday, October 28th. You can all rise for the pledge, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Robertson, please call the roll.
I would be happy to call the roll, Mr. Supervisor. Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
Myself, of course, I'm here. Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Here.
Trustee Fike. Here. Trustee Hugo.
Here.
Trustee White. Here. 7 members present, a quorum.
Thank you. And now I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda. Motion by Mr. Fike, supported by Mr. Yancho.
Motion by Fike, supported by Yancho. On the agenda. Trustee White.
Yes.
Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Fike.
Yes.
Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
7-0, motion passes.
Thank you. I think somebody may have gone on the license. Anyways. So anyways, what I'd like to do is we're going to move into public comment at this time. I'd like to make a statement prior to that. So a couple of weeks ago, through an unimaginable tragedy, I was reminded once again how incredible this community truly is, and how fortunate I am to call Grand Blanc home. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, people doing whatever they could to support one another, and I'm reminded of that spirit every day, especially when I see those better together signs, and when I pass our township employees, first responders, and when I look out tonight and see all of you here. We are truly better together. This evening, we want to hear your genuine concerns and listen to you. But let's do it respectfully. Personal attacks don't advance your concerns. They don't move our township forward. Let's remember what unites us. And let's honor this community by how we conduct ourselves tonight. In 2 weeks, we will have a full presentation at our regularly scheduled board meeting to discuss in full the current operations of our fire department and other potential models of both completely career full-time departments and combination departments and everything in between. In just a moment, I'd like to take a moment of silence to remember again the hundreds of victims of this church tragedy, and encourage each of you to reflect during this time not only on our shared values and on compassion and on what it truly means to be better together. Thank you. And when you come up, I'll call you up. I'm not sure what order these are in, but Ms. Hugo, you guys go first. And just a reminder that we're asking everybody to keep their comments to 3 minutes or less. Thank you.
My name is Sarah Hugo, and I have been a Grand Blanc Township resident for 24 years. It has been 1 month since a horrific event at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. 1 month since our lives were forever changed. Sorry. Can you pause the timer? I'm just kidding. It's been 1 month since our lives were forever changed. 1 month since these brave men and women risked their own lives to save others in our community. 1 month since our community became better together. To the first responders, your courage and strength are truly incredible, and I couldn't be prouder to live and serve in a community filled with individuals who take such pride in everything they do. The firefighters hold a very special place in my heart. For several years, I took my son Ben to the fire department, almost daily, to visit all of his fire buddies. I'm sure we may have annoyed you at times, but you're always kind, patient, and welcoming, so thank you all for that. To the firefighters who once detected a small carbon monoxide leak in our basement, thank you. Without that visit, the outcome could have been very different. That experience reminded me just how vital your work truly is. What I want to say from the bottom of my heart is thank you. Thank you for always being there. For your bravery, your compassion, and your unwavering commitment to Grand Blanc Township. To Chief Jent and the entire fire department, I see you, I hear you, and I support you. As a trustee, I promise to continue doing what I believe is best for this community, not only for our residents, but also for every dedicated employee who serves it with pride and integrity. To the residents, this past week has been very challenging and very embarrassing, not only for me, but for our entire community. I'm here tonight because I have integrity and I have a voice, but more important, I'm here to do what's best for you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Barbara Green. Good evening.
Hi, my name is Barbara. I've lived in Township for 10 years, and I'm a fifth generation firefighter in my family. And
I can just ask you to make sure you speak up, because I'm not sure.
You can hear. Can you turn the volume up on everybody's microphone, please?
I'm sorry.
and I've several questions rather. We after the fire at the church, I'd like to know why we heard nothing from the fire chief. Their response was equally as important. And I wanted to know if your board members, if you're familiar with the Assistance to Firefighter Grant or a SAFER grant for the fire department. Are you guys aware of that grant?
We aren't going to, tonight we're not going to be going
Okay.
back and forth. We'll take your
No,
comments and questions.
Okay.
And we will,
So the FEMA puts out, how do I stop that?
I think, I'm not sure.
Okay, FEMA offers 2 substantial grants to fire departments every year. One is an Assistance to Firefighter grant that helps with equipment. The other one is a SAFER grant. I write grants for fire departments. I reached out to Chief Jent and asked him an offer to help with the SAFER grant, and was informed the township was not applying for it. And I would also like to know why. And I also believe that one of the goals of every municipality is to increase their tax revenue. Okay. And I also lastly want to know if letting Chief Jent go or not supporting his recommendations to the township and the community, if you guys are willing to accept the responsibility and liability if any of these first responders.
Thank you.
And it's fun when I only have 2 minutes.
Carrie Fritz.
I'm going to start with this. I voted for all of you. I was happy to do that. When all of your names were on the ballot, I voted for each and every one of you. I'm pretty disappointed right now in how this is all being handled. You've been dishonest, disingenuous. You are more concerned with public image than with giving your community any sort of peace of mind. Your most important community assets are asking for support, and you're not supporting them. You've rehired a man that was fired, a whistleblower act or not. He's clearly unfit for the position. I'd like you to explain why you'd rather attempt to fire a man with experience, integrity, skill, understanding, and overall capability than hire more firefighters or listen to the complaints and problems that are coming directly from the department that are dealing with them. You have a team of people that are communicating with you, and you would rather let him go than listen to any of that. You're more than happy to increase a millage to pave a dirt road where people are already speeding in a place they don't need to be. Bicentennial doesn't need a paved road, but you're completely comfortable with the fire department explaining to you that their staffing is inappropriate, and we're not going to do anything about that. All I'm asking of you guys is for some introspection and some understanding of the fact that you were all hired by us. This isn't a unilateral space, and your decisions affect everyone in the community, not just you, not just the budget, and not just the firefighters that we owe more than we could ever possibly give them. And just as a final note, turning off comments on your social media when the community disagrees with you is a wildly inappropriate choice. You think it makes you look bad to leave the comments on? It looks so much worse for you guys to shut the comments off. I don't know whose decision that was. Wrong move. I have lost a lot of trust in this entity as a whole, and I will be looking at things a lot more closely moving forward.
Thanks for your comments. Greg Wiseman.
Good evening, Township officials. Thank you for the time. Greg Weisbart, I'm the 3rd District Vice President for the Michigan Professional Firefighters Union. Grand Blanc Local 4962 is one of the locals that I proudly serve. Enough was said about pointing fingers. But it's time now for the action today. And it's called safe staffing. Does it cost money? Absolutely it does. To pay people, healthcare, it costs money. We're not unrealistic about that. But what we are also not unrealistic about is our safety and the safety of these guys that are out here. To put one man on an engine company is unacceptable. I don't know if you ever drove a fire truck. You ever notice the blind spots in those? You put one person on that. What can one man do when he rolls up on the scene? The tragic event that happened here in Grand Blanc was the exposure to staffing levels that have always been there. And it exposed the entire community that we are not staffed properly. The members that work here, the proud members, the dedicated members that work here, are not your enemy. They are your ally. There are very smart individuals that work here. We've heard comments about the SAFER grants. They can help you with those. The AFG grants, they can help you with purchasing apparatus or equipment. That also helps your budget. We're talking about, you're going to have a plan coming up forward here in 2 weeks. Geographical information studies. That is done by the International Association of Firefighters for any local that requests that study to be done. And it's done at no cost. No cost to you. It's one of the services that we afford all the firefighters across the United States and Canada. Look to your allies. Your allies are sitting out here. They're on duty 24/7. They can assist you. They're not out here to raise ruckus. And then you get to where we have to consider what's protected union activities. We should never even go down that road. If you work together, and they have more than willing, I do know that, reached out to you to sit down to discuss these issues and how can we do them in a collaborative manner, looking at budgets, considering all the impacts. They'll work with you. They're incredibly talented people. It's all we're here for. You know what? Sometimes the word union gets a bad name. We're a brotherhood. We help each other. We help communities. They're here to help you. Ask them. They'll step right up to the plate. They're some of the bravest people, kindest people you're ever going to meet.
Thank you. Chief Jent?
Happy First Responders Day, everybody. Board members, stand before you today to address the fundamental question. What kind of fire chief does Grand Blanc Township want? When you hired me, I was explicit about who I am. I told the superintendent, the police chief, the HR director, that I believed in transparent communication, collaborative problem solving, and open, transparent communication, and advocating for necessary change. I warned them clearly, if you don't want someone who will push for operational improvements, do not hire me. You hired me anyway. I've done exactly what I said I would do. Now I'm being told I'm not the right fit, because I've advocated for the very priorities outlined in your strategic plan. The 2025 through 2028 strategic plan that you approved explicitly identified 911 EMS response times as a key focus area. It calls for fire departments transition to a response model that includes medical response. I didn't invent these priorities. They were in your documented plans. Yet when I advocate for them, I'm suddenly not on the same page as the board. Here's what Superintendent Liimatta himself has admitted in meetings with me. I don't disagree with your recommendations in the slightest. I think that's where we're headed. Nobody I've ever known the fire science better than me, Jen. We're not in compliance with NFP 1710. You're right. He agrees with my recommendations, acknowledges my expertise, and admits we're not meeting safety standards. Then what's the real issue? The real issue emerged on October 10th, when I suddenly was informed of a united front requirement that I must publicly support standards and board positions regardless of these professional standards for community safety. This requirement appears nowhere in my contract or job posting, in interview discussions, or any written policy. No fire service professional with integrity would accept a position that prohibits them from identifying operational gaps that affect community safety. But here's what sealed my fate. When Union President Jeremy Oxford exercised his federally protected right to communicate with you about staffing concerns, Superintendent Liimatta warned me
30 seconds.
to require notification before any union communications. When I explained that would violate federal labor law, I was placed on administrative leave. Let me be clear, I will not violate federal labor law. I will not interfere with protected union activities. If that makes me not the right fit, then this township's expectations are incompatible with both legal requirements and professional ethics. The superintendent claims the budget has increased 92% since 2020.
Thank you. All right. We need to pause the meeting. Sherry Martin.
My name is Sherry Martin. I'm a Genesee County citizen. I'm from Davison. I served on the Richfield Township Board, and I also am a nurse. And why am I here tonight? Because I, being a nurse, I care about people. I care about the citizens. I don't care where you live, okay? But what I will tell you, first of all, before I get into this, I do want to give my condolences to the Grand Blanc Township citizens for what they've been through. Now, what I have to say about this is, I know being on the township board, okay, you get so much money coming in and have so much money going out. What I would ask these Grand Blanc Township citizens is to check into where all this money is going. What is their tax money being spent on? I don't know if these meetings are televised, if the township citizens, because I know a lot of them are working, a lot, they may not be able to attend the meetings, but I would ask them, do they know how many fire calls there are that get per month? Do they know how trained and how many firefighters are on those fire trucks? And I am asking the Grand Blanc Township citizens to get informed, get involved. You don't need your taxes raised. Okay, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I know what I was told was Grand Blanc Township just gave a lot of money to the parks. Well, you know, that's wonderful. I like nice parks too. But if my house is on fire and there's an emergency and I need trained firefighters, guess what? I don't care about the teeter-totter in the park. Okay? I want Davison, if we need backup, to know that the areas around us have the equipment and have the trained firefighters that they need. As a nurse, I know what it's like to work long hours. I know what it's like to have too much on you in a shift to take care of. And I also know what it's like to work without equipment. So what I would say is that firefighters across the region are facing growing challenges from elected officials who make critical decisions without understanding the realities of emergency response. And it's time for our voices to be heard. Come on, Grand Blanc Township. They're saying that you're all together. Make that real. Support your chief that stood up for you and is fighting for your safety.
Shirley Shinnebarger. Shirley Shinnebarger. Shirley Shinnebarger. And Anna Matson will be after Shirley. Hello.
My name is Shirley Shinnebarger. I'm a resident of Grand Blanc and a registered nurse, currently striking at Henry Court Genesis. A lot of my time spent is on Baldwin Road. I've gotten to know quite a few of the firefighters, and unfortunately on September 28th, we really got to know them. That was a tragic event that happened, and it has fueled all of us. As I'm not a first responder, I respect our first responders, I'm a nurse, but the staffing issues. This isn't about me, but it's kind of funny how corporations want to save money on staffing in the hospitals. And now our own communities want to save money for what we need in this community. Like the millages in August, the community voted no for Parks and Rec. They voted yes for fire. I love our PD department, but they've got plenty of funding. What about fire? When I'm on the line and I see a truck go, and then we see another truck go, we're questioning what happens if something else happens, because we know darn well how many people are in that station. And then I'm told, well, they can maybe use city for that. Why can't we just hire staff? And I believe that's what Chief Jent was trying to do, is make the department better, to make his people better, to make the community better. And I don't know who you are, Dennis, but how do you get the power to say no? How do you get the power to make these decisions? I feel like it should be like a board. I feel like the people should make those decisions, not an individual based on emotion. Thank you.
Thank you, and now Anna Matson.
I'm Anna Matson, and I'm here tonight as a Holly resident. I am here because when our community suffered the tragic Holly fire, Grand Blanc showed up for us. And when Grand Blanc faced its own tragedy, we showed up for you. That's what true community looks like. Now, I've spoken with many residents, and from what I've seen, this board has allowed the superintendent to operate with nearly unwielded power. Too often, decisions are made by him and rubber stamped by you. Let's remember, this is the same superintendent who was fired in 2020, then sued the township for wrongful termination, and was later rehired in exchange for dropping the lawsuit, allegedly, of course. Many people would call that extortion, and now you trust him to lead your township. In 2022, his salary was $119,000 before benefits. Now it's $203,000, and next year he's requesting $215,000. That's nearly a doubling of pay in just 3 years. You don't even see that in the private sector. For comparison, a United States senator makes $174,000 a year. I'm not saying public service should make someone poor, but it shouldn't make them rich either, especially when your fire department is struggling. I've looked through your budget reports. There is money, plenty of it. The issue is how it's being prioritized. This board does not work for the superintendent. He works for you. You hire him, you set his budget, you create the ordinances he has to execute, and you can fire him. Our founding fathers separated powers for a reason, to create checks and balances, not to let one person act as a dictator. So yes, the staffing crisis and morale issues are on him, but they're also on you, because you've allowed this imbalance of power to continue. And this issue isn't just because of this board or the superintendent. It's on residents too. This township has almost 40,000 residents. In the village of Holly, we have 6,000 residents, and we have more people show up to meetings and watch meetings online than you do. Yes, the public is here today, but where were you for years before this? This could have all been prevented if you voted for the right people and kept these ones accountable. The public outpour changed the tune of this meeting. Imagine what this town would look like if the public showed up more. The fire department shows up for you when you need them. It's time you show up for them. If this board acts against the interests of public safety, it's up to the public to recall these members and institute a board who will protect people and represent the people, not unelected bureaucrats. Finally, I will do what this board should have done tonight. I want to thank Chief Jent for his leadership and for the entire fire staff for standing their ground for their residents.
Alex Newton. We're not going to wait long. We'll ask you to leave if you're going to continue. And that goes for you in the back. I know who it is. Alex Newton.
Good evening. My name is Alex Newton. I'm speaking on behalf of the part-time firefighters. I'm the union president. I'm here to express our frustration. We don't think you guys know what's truly going on. There's been social media reports that indicate that we have adequate staffing. I can tell you that's a lie. I was one of the first people on at the church fire. We had 5 people. We had a 3-month on the job, 19-year-old kid inside that building by himself for at least 5 to 8 minutes before we could get in there to help him, because we had other things we were trying to assess and handle before we could get inside with 5 people. For a church that had possibly 200 people, and we have 5 people. You guys, somebody wants to release saying that we have adequate staffing. It's a lie. Then we want to go down that Facebook post and they say that we spend so much money in staffing or equipment. Go look at any one of our fire trucks after you leave this meeting. The sensors are duct taped. Alarms are going off. We just hit silence. The ladder truck, we can't drive it. We can't practice with it. It's only used for emergencies, per the deputy chief. So where's this money being spent that you guys are talking about? We're not asking for new recliners. We're not asking for TV. We're asking for safety for the public. This has to stop. We kept saying, what are we waiting for? People to die? Here it is. When's this going to change? Are you guys aware this fire station right here on the north side closes at midnight? All the citizens on the north side are still paying taxes and expect us to respond, yet the station's closed. And then we go down to, thank God, Chief Jent moved it up to 4 people. Before that, it was 3 after midnight. What are we going to do with 3 people when we show up to a house fire with a family trapped? We're not doing anything like we promised the citizens. There's a survey put out, 93%, the superintendent, every union meeting we have, you should wear that on your arm as a badge of honor. Turn around and ask these citizens, would you still vote 93%? The answer is no. You guys lied to them. I don't think the board did. I think the superintendent did. And that's where we ask you guys, make the decision. Chief Jent is the guy for the job. He's got an open door policy. He's done nothing but amazing things for this department. So let's decide who we're going to fire. We all know that answer. I'm not calling people out. Just make the right thing, ask questions, come talk to us. That's all we want to have a conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg Allen. Is Greg Allen here? Greg Allen?
You guys realize you have an audio delay from this room to that room, right? So, yeah, you can hear him still talking as he's leaving the room.
All right.
They're trying to catch up.
Yeah, that's
Thanks.
Good evening, board members and citizens of Grand Blanc Township and visitors from far and wide. My name is Greg Allen, and I'm the business agent for the Grand Blanc Township part-time firefighters, and I'm here to speak on their behalf. Grand Blanc Township firefighters are proud to stand before and beside Fire Chief Jamie Jent. Since day one, Chief Jent has led with integrity, respect, and genuine commitment to the department members and the community they serve. He listens before he leads, and he makes decisions based on what keeps firefighters and residents safe. Chief Jent has prioritized a strong working relationship with the unions, and he made it clear that any new full-time positions that come about within part-time ranks, they will be offered these positions first. It shows his values in his members, and he wants to grow this department by investing in those already serving this community. Safety has been at the top of Chief Jent's list from the moment he arrived. He took swift action to move the firefighters out of this station here due to the conditions at Station 1, refusing to let them spend another night in an environment that may be harmful to their health. These changes weren't delayed or debated. He did what was right, not only for the members, but for their members' families. Chief Jent has demonstrated the same urgency and compassion regarding mental health of this membership. The events of September 28th, as we're all aware of, were the most tragic this department has ever faced. And Chief Jent didn't just acknowledge that pain, he put real support in place. He stood up for the members as people and not just as firefighters. Leadership isn't measured by titles or policies. It is measured by trust, action, and the ability to lift others up. Chief Jent has earned the trust and respect through every decision he has made in his short time as chief here with the township. The men and women of Grand Blanc Township Fire Department stand behind Chief Jent because he stands behind them. He is the right leader for this department and for this community, and they are proud to support him every step of the way. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I have a couple of concerns. First of all, I know many of you. I served as Dr. Life Secretary at the Grand Blanc Schools for a considerable amount of time, and I was honored to be the recording secretary of the Grand Blanc Board of Education. One of the things that I was most proudest about was transparency. Dr. Lipe had a memo that went to his board. It was the good, the bad, and the ugly. There was never an issue that the board was unaware of, nor was there an issue that the board would not listen to. It didn't matter if it was a staff member coming before the board and talking about an issue. It didn't matter if it was students. It didn't matter if it was a parent. Everyone was welcome to come before the board and give their opinion regarding any kind of service or curriculum or study that they were involved in. I can tell you Mrs. Hugo's husband, Brian, was an advocate. And I can also tell you one of the proudest moments of the Grand Blanc Board was when the students did a walkout at the high school, and the board was proud that they knew their First Amendment rights, that they knew there was no violence, and they got their point across because their voice was heard. What concerns me is that the chief has been silenced over the tragedy at the LDS church. There was lots of press conferences, but there was nothing showing the chief. And the silence, for me, is frightening, because he was trying to tell you all the truth, that the residents of Grand Blanc Township were understaffed. And that, as also a mother of a Grand Blanc firefighter, that's terrifying, that you would risk their lives and those of the people who are residing in your township because you want to save a few bucks. Why is the PD budget reported at 10 million something and the fire department budget is 2.3 something? What? I'm not sure of the figures, but it's inadequate. Why would the PD, who covers the exact same area as the fire department, be told they aren't going to be funded? They help at accidents at every location, expressways, and through the city. They have to leave at a moment's notice for a fire call, and they're doing mutual aid. So my concern is how much, pardon me? Oh, thank you, Mr. Bennett. So if anybody here, if you want to lose your loved one to fire, please raise your hand. Anybody?
Michael here?
No, that's my fault.
He's coming. He's coming.
Good evening. My name is Michael Hertzberg. I'm the secretary of the IFF Local 4962 Union. I stand before you today on a matter of public concern, the department staffing levels and the safety of our community. In the 6 short months that Chief Jent has been with the Grand Blanc Township, he has proven himself to be an excellent leader, an effective manager, and a genuine mentor. He has unified our full-time and part-time personnel into one cohesive department, and morale is at an all-time high. His compassion and support for our firefighters, both during the recent church event and the weeks that followed, were remarkable. Chief Jent represents the very best of this township, and our members are grateful to have him continuing with us. From day one, the chief has made staffing a top priority. For years, our firefighters have voiced concerns about the number of firefighters on shift. Staffing directly affects both firefighter safety and public safety. When we talk about staffing, we're not referring to the total number of employees on payroll. We're referring to how many are on duty and available to respond at any given time. The current model is not safe and is nowhere near meeting the nationally recognized benchmarks of NFPA 1710. NFPA 1710 is a standard for the organization and deployment of career fire departments and provides the guidelines for staffing and response times. It requires a minimum of 4 firefighters on the first arriving engine, which should arrive within 4 minutes of the call for a fire incident, and a full initial alarm assignment of 15 firefighters for residential fire arriving on scene within 8 minutes. Before the tragic event on September 28th, Station 1 and 2 were each staffed with 2 people from 8 a.m. to midnight. And At midnight, Station 1 closes, leaving Station 2 with only 3 personnel. Following that tragedy, Chief Jent added 1 firefighter each shift, so we had 3 and 3 each station during the day and only 4 at night at Station 2. This was done to help relieve stress and promote firefighter wellness. Unfortunately, the 2026 budget does not provide funding to sustain the staffing level, even though it needs to be permanent. Chief Jent has worked tirelessly to increase staffing, including seeking a SAFER grant. While that effort was initially supported by the township, it was never submitted because, quote, the board didn't support it. Our members truly appreciate the township's investment in a new fire station and a new aerial apparatus. But the truth is, our most vital investment is people. It's time for the township to consider investing in personnel rather than apparatus. To our township board members, our union board reached out to you directly requesting a meeting to share our concerns and our vision for a stronger and safer department. This offer still stands, and we sincerely hope that you will take the opportunity to meet with us. Listen to the community, and let's work together properly staffing our department. Together, we can ensure that our firefighters and our community remain safe, strong, and best serve the community. We are better together.
Thank you. Brent Connell?
Good evening. My name is Brent Connell. I'm currently the president of the Michigan State Firemen's Association. I proudly have served in the fire service for 36 years, and for the past 2.5 years, I've had the privilege of serving as a firefighter in Grand Blanc Township. I'm here tonight to express my support for Chief Jent and to respectfully ask for his reinstatement as fire chief. When I was hired here, I was honestly shocked to learn on how this department operated from 8 a.m. to midnight, responding to every call of service in the township with only 2 firefighters on apparatus. I immediately raised concerns about how unsafe the staffing model was and how it failed to meet NFPA standards. I was told this is how it's always been done, and the current administration was fine with it. Then came September 28th, the day that none of us will ever forget. The unthinkable happened. Yet the men and women of the Grand Blanc Township Fire Department responded with the same pride, courage, and dedication they always bring, even under unsafe conditions, and I applaud each and every one of them. After that tragic day, Chief Jent took a hard look at our department staffing, made the decision to increase the minimum staffing to 3 firefighters per shift on duty apparatus. While this still doesn't meet the national standard of 4, this is a significant step forward, and more importantly, it has lifted the morale across our department. You as the board may never fully understand the emotions we experienced after that day, the sense of defeat and heartbreak. There isn't a single firefighter in this department who ever wants to experience a loss of life on their watch, no matter what the circumstances. Chief Jent recognized the shortcomings and took action that makes Grand Blanc Township a safer place to live, work, and serve. I strongly urge this board to recognize what Chief Jent has done. He's been looking out for the future of this department and ultimately for the safety and well-being of the residents of his firefighters. He deserves your support, your trust, and your appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you. Marty Sorensen? Marty Sorensen?
Good evening. It's come to my attention that some of you are not fully understanding the positive changes that this department has experienced. And if anyone believes that we haven't moved forward for the better under Chief Jent, then you haven't been paying attention. So tonight, I want to speak to those changes from the perspective of those closest to the operations of this department, who see the results of his leadership in real time. When Chief Jent arrived, morale was at an all-time low. We were exhausted, discouraged, and disconnected. Many of us questioned why we were still here. This was the environment that we were working in. That's not where we are today. Today, this department does not feel different. It is different. And the difference is undeniable. Morale and pride have returned in a way many of us weren't sure we would ever see again. Standards have been raised and accountability is back, but not to punish, but to remind us of the professionalism this department should stand for. For the first time, our mental health and well-being are being treated as a priority instead of an afterthought. And here's something no one would have predicted a year ago. Firefighters are stepping up to pursue EMS educations and licensing, not because anyone demanded it, but because we finally believe in the direction we're heading and the future that's being built here. Even long-standing issues that have held us back, like the old full-time versus part-time divide, were addressed swiftly and effectively, and that wasn't luck, it was leadership. From day one, Chief Jent has been transparent about his goals, his expectations, and his vision for the the future here. He communicates, he listens, he makes us feel seen and heard, and he trusts us to do our jobs. Because of that, pride, unity, and purpose have returned to this department. I've heard the statement that Chief Jent is, quote, unwilling to operate within the current service model. But let's think about that for a moment. If the service model is outdated or failing the community, isn't it his duty not to accept that? Why criticize the chief for refusing to operate in a system that isn't serving the people we swore to protect? That's not resistance, it's leadership. And his impact wasn't slow or gradual, it was immediate. In fact, Supervisor Bennett, within the first 2 weeks, his impact was so clear that I emailed you directly to state that hiring Chief Jent was one of the best decisions that made for this department in the last 10 years at least. Everything this department has asked for, unity, direction, accountability, support, pride, he's delivering. If the goal was to find a leader who could elevate this department, unite it, modernize it, and restore pride, that mission was accomplished the day you hired Chief James Jent. Thank you.
Thank you. Anthony Hudson.
Good evening. My name is Anthony Hudson. I'm a resident here in Grand Blanc for the last 14 years. Chief, wherever you're at, you're a hero, man. Every one of you in uniform in here is a hero. We should all be taking our hats off to you every single day that you go to work. You reminded me earlier, Mr. Bennett, you said, let's remember what brought us here together. Patriots brought us here together. What's happening is a travesty. I would take 8 of him over any of you any day. You guys need to remember and understand you do what we want you to do. You work for us. We can vote you out anytime, any way. We hired you. This town has come together tonight because they are standing on his behalf to support him. Why aren't you getting on board? I have seen fire trucks at an accident with no paramedics on site. What if that was one of you? Would you want to lay there in pain, suffering, waiting for a paramedic to get there? Or would you rather have them there when the fire truck shows up? What if your house was to burn down? While you cower and run out of your home, these guys are running into it to protect you, to save you. And after the worst tragedy that Grand Blanc has seen, I don't know how many years, you want to put this man on administrative leave, maybe take his job from him? I'm going to tell you right now, as a candidate for governor in the state of Michigan, if you fire this man, I get over 300,000 views on Facebook and social media every single day. I will make sure these seats are empty this time next year. Thank you.
Kenny Jacobson.
It's been a while. 7 years ago, I left Grand Blanc. After I raised a safety concern, then I was eventually run out of this township. I guess. I don't know Chief Jent, but I do know every single one of these guys in here, and they are my brothers. I fought fire for 18 years. Safety is the number one thing. They run into fires. If you're going to make it unsafe even more, why are they doing it? They have families. Look at all the kids that are in here. What's the reason for that? You can't take safety out of it just because you don't like it. If you're going to take this chief away just because he doesn't fit in with you guys, I know where I'd be voting next year. But I don't have to. I'm gone. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon Bertucolia. Brandon.
Hello, my name is Brandon Barkowiak, and I serve with the Grand Blanc Fire Department
2006 until 2022. A few other firefighters, along with myself, left the department in 2022 due to a lack of leadership from the previous fire chief. Although I am no longer part of the fire department, I am still part of this community as I have lived here my whole life and now raised my family here. I stay in contact with a handful of firefighters that still serve on the department, and I have heard nothing but outstanding things from them about Chief Jent. Since he was hired back in April, when Chief Jent was hired, he took an oath to faithfully perform the duties of the office of fire chief for the township of Grand Blanc, according to the best of his ability. This is exactly what he has been doing since the day he was hired. It is nice to see the Township Fire Department finally has a chief that cares about the safety of the community and the firefighters. Unfortunately, Chief Jent is being punished for doing exactly what he was hired to do. And I believe that if Chief Jent's contract is terminated, the township will lose more firefighters and the staffing crisis will get even worse. This will in turn make it increasingly more dangerous for the firefighters who stay on duty and also for the community they serve in. If Chief Jent is let go and firefighters do leave in wake of that decision, I expect that each and every one of you board members will take full responsibility if a firefighter or someone in the community gets hurt or killed due to staffing shortages. My last question is, why was Jent not okay last week to serve, but for some reason now he's good to serve? Thank you.
Thank you. Jake, Silverman?
My name is Jacob Sifferman. I'm Vice President of our part-time union. I've been at this department for 14 and a half years. I was here when we were still on call. When we changed to a full-time department, your firefighters took a pay cut. We took a $3 pay cut from $15 down to $12. We currently make $20 an hour if you have 10 years of service. That seems pretty low to me. We're not in this for the money. People I work with every day will put their life on the line for every single one of you. They'll support you through everything. What we're asking for is you to support us. These citizens deserve the best. We want to give them the best. Our firefighters are increasing their training. They want to be better. We need the help. We can't do it alone. We're asking you to please come talk to us. Come put our gear on. Come train with us. See what we're about and see if you can do it for people. Thank you.
Thank you. Shandell Sorensen? Shandell?
Probably in the hallway.
All right. My name is Shondell Sorensen. I'm a registered nurse with Henry Ford Health here in Grand Blanc. I'm currently on strike advocating for safe staffing and a better patient care. Over the past few weeks, I've seen firsthand how much leadership matters, especially in crisis. During this difficult time, our fire chief has been a tremendous source of support. He has constantly checked on our safety, ensured emergency access, and demonstrated genuine care for the people of this township, even when it wasn't required of him. That speaks volumes about his dedication and integrity. This is the same leader who responded to the mass shooting at the Mormon church in Grand Blanc, showing calm under pressure and courage in the face of tragedy. His leadership had saved lives and steadied our community in one of its darkest moments. As someone who works in healthcare, I know what short staffing feels like and what happens when leadership is taken away in the middle of a crisis. The results can be devastating. Removing the fire chief now would not only weaken the department, it would put the safety of this entire township at risk. Our fire chief has proven his commitment to Grand Blanc throughout this entire situation, his action, compassion, and courage. I respectfully urge the council to support and retain his position for the sake of our safety and our community's future. Thank you for your time and for listening.
Thank you, Jeffrey Lentz.
Hello, sir. My name is Jeff Lentz. I'm the president of Dearborn Firefighters Association, IFF Local 412. And I've attended your meeting today to show my support for the Grand Blanc Professional Firefighters Union and their arguments and advocacy for safe staffing levels. Without safe staffing levels, the community is at risk and their lives are at risk. Your firefighters show up day in and day out, report for their shift duty, away from their family members, not knowing if they're going to come home that day. That's a choice we all took when we took this job. We understand the risk that's involved. But without safe staffing, you're exponentially making it a higher risk that they don't come home to their families. So I implore you, adopt safer staffing levels. You hear a lot of talk of 1710 and the national standards. And as we stand in this beautiful township hall today, I bet you this building was built to the national building code, where there's standards for electrician work, standards for plumbing work. Why? Because it's safe. It's unsafe not to build this building that way. But yet, you've let your firefighters respond to emergencies in unsafe environments. So I implore you to support them. Give them the adequate staffing. Give them the resources they need, which is people. Boots on those trucks responding to your runs. And as for Chief Jent, I've personally known Jamie for the last 24 years. He's a man of high integrity. I assume you guys hired him to be your fire chief based on his profound experience in this position. So I definitely support him in his striving to make this department a modern fire department and to help you move forward to make it safer, not only for the citizens that he's sworn to protect and the firefighters are sworn to protect, but the firefighters that come in and take the oath that they're going to protect your citizens. So, thank you.
Thank you, Adam Farrell.
Thank you. Just wanted to first off acknowledge that I know sitting up here in this room tonight, listening to a room full of people that might seem angry with you could be difficult. And so I wanted to acknowledge that being a strong leader a lot of times starts with listening. And in a government format that we're at today, we have a forum for everybody to speak on behalf of what they feel and what they think. My name is Adam Farrell. I'm also with the Dearborn Firefighters Association, Local 412, Union Secretary. I've served alongside Chief Jent for 6 years on the union board and 15 years in the department of Dearborn. What I could tell you about Chief Jent is he's extremely knowledgeable in this business. He's obviously you guys did something right when you hired him. You realize that he's going to bring to the table a new perspective. He's got a lot of knowledge, and I strongly encourage you to take the opportunity tonight with what you've heard and consider listening to Chief Jent and finding that pathway forward. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that money isn't a difficulty constraint. If every department and every city had unlimited funds, we would always meet these standards. And that's the trouble, is trying to find the funds that we have and what can we put on the table with what we have to work with. And Chief Jent is a partner in this for this township. And the residents of this township should be proud to have him. And just by the overwhelming support of firefighters that are here tonight, both from Grand Blanc and across the state, it shows this community matters. And the decisions that this board makes moving forward is going to determine the pathway of this community. So I encourage everybody here to listen. I encourage you to work with Chief Jent. I think he's a brilliant mind in the fire service. You're very fortunate to have him. And so continue to support your Grand Blanc firefighters and work towards finding whatever that resolution is to provide the best staff in your community. Thank you.
Thank you. Dennis McGuffin.
Good evening. Thank you. My name is Dennis McGuffin. Some of you know me. I come here as a resident of the township. I'm not representing any political affiliation or any government entity. I'm speaking as a citizen of Grand Blanc Township. Been here for 20-something years. Question that hopefully it could be answered maybe at a later time. How much money was taken and given to the parks when we as a township shot down the millage, I believe in August of this year? The millage was shot down. The residents didn't want to fund the park when we had other monetary needs, such as the fire department or police department. If that could be answered at a later time, how much money was given to the parks. If we had some money to give the parks, maybe we could give it to the firemen. The board, I believe Mr. Liimatta, you guys hire what you guys think is the best of the best, right? Best police chief and the best fire chief, right? If you limit their ability, who's in a better position to make recommendations for what's best for me as a citizen? Is it a board member who has no fire experience, or the fire chief who you hire has got, I don't know him, but it sounds like he's got an exemplary record, or the fire or the police chief who's what's best interest when it comes to public safety? Who's better, right? If this gentleman, the fire chief, says he needs people and equipment, I would trust him in his word. Who are you as board members with no fire experience to question it? Unless you yourself has a resume like this. I'm going to make this quick. We live in a world where evil exists. It walks amongst us every single day. And the only way evil exists is when politicians limit the ability for good men and women, such as the police department or fire department, to do their job. Me being a citizen, I believe you're limiting the safety for all residents, even the residents that pass through Grand Blanc Township, and there's a lot of them. I believe that should you let this gentleman go, from what I know, it would be a travesty to the citizens of Grand Blanc Township. I think you need to take a bigger look at who's better to make those decisions of what's best for the township residents when it comes to police and fire. So I thank you for your time. I hope that you take into consideration what every member of the fire department, I'm not a fireman, but what the firemen have told you all night long. Okay, thanks for your time.
Thank you. Kathy Lane.
Grand Blanc Township is the oldest community in Genesee County, April 1st, 1833. We're 192 years old, so there have been many people sitting in the seats of you elected officials that have taken the oath of office to serve. Dennis Liimatta was not elected. He was chosen by you. Not one at this dais that I know of has any experience like the police and fire departments, who are unique employees of this township. Why? Because they take an oath and put their own lives at stake every single day. And you all saw that on September the 28th, when you and I, every one of you, were watching the TV, and all the men and women in the fire department and the police department were out working to save the lives of all those people, men, women, and children, just like your families, in that particular church. You can limit Mr. Liimatta's abilities by state law. He nor no one at this dais has the experience or the knowledge to resolve the problems that you face. So when you're dealing especially with police and fire, let them help you make the best decisions by having open discussion with honesty and truthfulness. And 40,000 people in this community are watching you. Thank you.
I'll make this brief, as brief as I can. I can't hide behind my name. I come from a fire chief that served this community for 25 years, a quarter century. Here we go again, 2010 all over again. The voters asked, or voters approved. I helped go door to door when I was living out of state. I lived out of state because back in 2004, you couldn't buy a job as a public servant. So with that being said, I moved out of state, came back, helped campaign for this. I was told there was a nepotism policy and I couldn't come back here to work in Grand Blanc. I believe that's still in force, but as we continue to move forward, I got to tell you, emotions aside from everybody, what happened last month was absolutely horrible. And I don't think that anybody in this room would honestly ever want to live through that again. Having been through some tough times with my career working for public service, I still continue to do that. I work for the local government. I guess I came here with a little bit of a disgust anyway about the lack of appreciation that our police and fire got for here. And I hope that that changes. And I hope that we look at the mental health of everyone that was there, because there's still a lot of people that are suffering from that. And I hope that we can continue to move forward. And I got to admit, this is lousy timing to even try to bring this up.
Yes.
So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Just a reminder that in 2 weeks, we will have a full presentation at a regular scheduled board meeting to discuss in full the current operations of our fire department and other potential models, improvements, both going from full career departments, full-time, to combination departments, and everything in between. With that, we're going to move on our agenda. And the next item on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion for that? Okay, supported by Mr. Fike.
Motion by Yancho, supported by Fike on the consent agenda. Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
Trustee White.
Yes.
Trustee Fike.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
7-0. Motion passes.
Thank you. Under new business, the board will consider a motion to approve Danielle Pastu as the assessor of record and authorize the superintendent to negotiate an employment agreement with the supervisor and clerk to sign upon successful negotiation of the agreement. We have Ms. Pastu here this evening. Mr. Wall, congratulations on your achievement of this
Thank
level
you.
of certification with the state. It's not every community that can have somebody that is at that level of accomplishment in our assessment department. So congratulations, Chief.
Thank you.
It's quite a huge accomplishment. Just so that everyone is aware, when a municipality reaches a certain size of taxable value, requirements change in terms of what, who you're required to have in terms of credentialed staff for going over all the assessing records and reports submitted. And we've been at that level for a few years, and this isn't an easy accomplishment to obtain that certification. So, Mr. Weaver?
Yeah, I'm happy to bring the board the recommendation for Danielle to be considered as your assessor of record. Currently, that's contracted out because we had to have a level 4, without referred to previously without Michigan Master Assessor's Officer certification is required. This is a very extensive program. Danielle has worked on it for over 2 years. It's not, I forget how many total males are in the 166. It's incredibly tough. Over the last 10 years, about 10 years ago, they started to change the ability for assessors to move their way up and secure the training to achieve this. And they made it tougher for a reason. And it's a good thing because our assessors don't get it right, and everybody here taxable values don't get assessing programs. As you know, we're required to be boots on the ground. 20% of properties every single year have to have boots on the ground in review. And as the director of our assessing, Danielle's been leading our team, but hasn't had the certification to sign our tax rolls. We've got to contract that out. Happily, we won't have to contract that out anymore. We can save some funds for the township. And tonight I'm asking to recognize Danielle and to look forward to in her the position of assessor of record in addition to her duties as the director of assessing, and authorize the supervisor and clerk on the successful negotiation of our new employment agreement, recognize that next year.
Mr. Fike makes that motion.
Motion by Fike,
Supported by Mr. White.
supported by White. 7A. Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Trustee Hugo?
Yes.
Trustee White?
Yes.
Trustee Fike?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett?
Yes.
Trustee Brown?
Yes.
7-0, motion passes.
Thank you very much. And now we'll move into our budget presentation.
We just give, Ms. Roberts, to, look at that presentation and walk through it.
Interesting meeting. Very professional.
That's why you say they hired me.
I have to get that mic first.
Scott.
Ready? Where's Nate? Screen sharing.
Appreciate it.
Tell you what, we'll take a 3-minute recess, 3 to 5 minutes here for them to set up. 7.
Sure. It's a good segue.